One thing you're going to have to realize about decentering men, and that can be so heartbreaking about the process, is that you're going to lose a lot of friends.
One of the hardest things for me to realize when I got out of that violent relationship is just how much I had put my friends at risk, just how much damage I had caused. Now, I'm not saying this to victim blame because we know a lot of things can be true at once. And please go watch that video by Lorraine. It's so good. It's so good. It's in my caption. So knowing that, you haven't dated men your whole life and you've been all about like women and, community and your adventures and like you haven't been obsessed with relationships and all that stuff. Like I was so proud of myself for that, right? So for the first man that I ever dated to be a complete sociopath, narcissist, abuser, like literal hobo, and I'm not using that as like a mean term. He literally rode the rails for 9 years, brushed his teeth with his finger. Found that out later. Caught him eating dog food. I've talked about this a lot. This man did so much psychological damage, financial abuse too. Raped multiple times. Almost. Okay? So I'm not like, God, I was such a bad person. No, I was sick. I had a lot of unresolved trauma from childhood that set me up to be in a dynamic with a man like that I didn't even question until I was like, whoa, oh my God. Like I saw a red flag, but they didn't seem that red to me. One, because I always thought I was one step ahead of him. Wrong. He was always one step ahead of me. Two, I just thought it was something casual, no big deal. Wrong. I didn't understand like trauma bonding and being groomed by somebody or how powerful hormones are because these dudes are always really good and bad. And especially in eating. Nor did I realize just how chronically codependent I was and how much that mothering, which isn't mothering really, because this is a grown man, right? How much that like, I gotta take care of the baby came out in me with this man. I never wanted to be a mom. I still don't want to be a mom. I'm never going to be a mom. But boy, did I learn what a good, what a mom-like tendencies I have with men. Literally carrying around a diaper bag full of a Kindle and water and snacks for the little baby in case he gets mad. Plus, this is my first time like falling in love, which I now know it was not love. But I never dated anybody, so it kind of was like, well, I guess this is, this is compromise and love is hard, God. So I have forgiven younger Melanie. That was the hard. I haven't forgiven him, but I've moved on. I don't think about him. I don't care about him. The hardest person for me to forgive in that whole scenario was myself because of what I put my friends through. Thank God they gave me grace. Thank God they didn't abandon me. And thank God they put some boundaries around my crap. For a while, because I'm a good storyteller, right? I've literally been doing this for a living for a while, right? I know how to tell a good story. So I'd be like, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what he did last night. And I have a crazy story and they'd be like, what? And they laugh. But at a certain point, it wasn't funny. And no matter how entertaining I could make this story, it's just me complaining about something bonkers. And they were worried about me. And so they had to kind of set up like bumper rails or whatever you call guardrails around our relationship because it was really hard to watch. And even my best friend Liz was on the other side of the country. And I'm still not sure if she's over it, y'all. My sister had to go to therapy and tried to volunteer at a domestic violence shelter to help her deal with her sense of powerlessness and all of her worry. She couldn't do that very long because it was so triggering. And I don't even know what else everyone else went through. But I know my friend Annie, and I'm going to tell this story soon because Annie saved my life. But she gets her own video about that because everyone needs an Annie. She came all the way from Alaska to get me out of this relationship in New Mexico and literally drive me out of the state. And then I had all my friends, my girlfriends, who we literally would meeting up in the gravel parking lot of the pizza place I worked at, strategizing like, how do we do this? God, the worry, the time, the energy, the acting like, hey, because they can't let this man know that they know, it's so much. And they did it all for me. I did lose some friends in that situation. And I absolutely do not blame them. At a certain point, they had to protect themselves from that amount of chaos. And so I just want to talk about all this because I want to say this as a survivor and as somebody who has chronic codependency, so I also have a hero complex, right? I just want to come in and save the day at my own expense. There is a way to decenter men and support women that you love on their journey, the hard, brave journey of decentering men, of supporting them without saving them, without your cape, without losing yourself in it and putting yourself in danger. Because, I mean, I could have gotten Annie killed. Okay, maybe I'm phrasing that wrong. It wouldn't be my fault, but also, I'm not sure if I would have been able to live with myself if she got hurt trying to save me. But she was very much in danger. She put herself in harm's way trying to get me. By the way, men, they're not going to save y'all. No man is coming to get you out of this situation. There's a few who might help a little, and I have a couple stories that of like hope with that, but really it's always going to be women. So if you don't decenter men, the women you love most are going to get hurt most, and they may eventually leave you because they can only take so much. They've got men trying their own, group of men at work, in the home, or wherever that are also trying to take them out. Maybe not violently, but still, right? We're all just trying to survive this. And so it's a delicate balance of helping women on this journey get out. Because, whether they're actually physically abusing you outright, quickly, or slowly abusing you. Lorraine talks about this a lot. As someone who's worked in pharmacy and all kinds of stuff, she knows the nervous system, they're slowly killing you. Either way, this is life and death. As my buddy Jules talks about, and this is the same way I feel too, I am not here to co-sign the lies that you tell yourself. That is going to get you killed. But I'm also not going to force anyone to see something they refuse to look at, because then you're going to hate me and I'm going to pay a price. So I'll tell you the truth. But after a certain point, if you don't want to hear the truth, I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. And when you're ready and you've hit that bottom and you're ready to decenter men, I'll be here. And I think that this is like the healthiest approach, because a lot of us are so codependent that we drain ourselves trying to save everyone. And then we're exhausted. And then we're hurting our own nervous system, right? The amount of worry and stress I put so many of my women friends through, especially in those last several weeks, they'll never get that back. And I honestly think that's one of the things that motivated me to get serious help with codependency. I don't ever want to put a woman through that again. And the best insurance I can get to keeping that promise to myself and to my community is to decenter men. If you appreciate this story, please like, comment, share, and just support my work, because this stuff's not easy to talk about.